Greetings everyone, Glenn Kellaway from the basement, back with another video. If you watched the unboxing of my new CD player, I spent about 3 hours with it yesterday afternoon playing some CDs, and it's getting a thumbs up. I'm going to do a review tomorrow. I want to spend the day with it, gather my thoughts. But I do want to show you, I picked up a few CDs when I went to Kingston, Ontario yesterday to pick up a CD player. The store that I bought it from, Hi-Fi, he has a few records and CDs in there that somebody's, I don't know why they're there to, but in a box to sell. So I went through the CDs. It was like a milk carton full of them, and found 2 or 3. And then right around the corner is another store called Zap Records. Not the Zap Records I always talk about in Coburg, but Zap Records in Kingston, Ontario. And I went in there and I picked up 2 CDs. And then I got something from Amazon too, on the cheap, from the warehouse sale. So I got like 7 discs I want to show you. Let's start with, these are the ones I picked up at the store, the Hi-Fi shop that I bought. Where are they here? That I bought my CD player from. First of all, Al Di Meola. I don't own any Al Di Meola's titled with his name stuff. I have stuff that when he worked with Return from Forever, and when he did the Friday Night in San Francisco with John McLaughlin and Paco de Lucia, but I don't have any of his own. And this is a comp I didn't know when I bought it, but is it ever freaking good, man? It sounded really good on my stereo too. It's got songs from all his periods and all the bands he worked with and all the people he worked with. So John McLaughlin's on here, John Schofield, Pat Metheny. Just all the big names are on here, and it's pretty friggin' good. Al Di Meola. It's just called Al Di Meola. This is Jazz 31. Al Di Meola. Who knew? Next I picked up Love the Blues and Taj Mahal. Found this album called Maestro. I have no idea. It is from, doesn't even have a date on it. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it. Haven't listened to it yet. But it's got Further On Down the Road on it. Diddy Wah Diddy, which I love the Ry Cooder version on. I'm drawing a blank. My favorite, Paradise and Lunch. So interested in hearing that. I'm sure it's good. It has to be because it's Taj Mahal. And a guy who died this year in his 90s, and I've never listened to him at all, and they had one of the CDs that I'd get it, Ahmad Jamal Trio. Great jazz pianist, Ahmad Jamal, and Jamel Nasser on bass, Frank Gant on drums. Listen to the first couple of tracks on here. Sounds great. Interested in delving into Amal. I think he's a bit of a legend. We did the CD chats, or the CD exchanges with myself, Larry Graves, Rich Strickler, Randall Nelson, and Brian Massey from Massey's Main Entertainment. Please go to Rich's channel if you haven't been watching them. They're so much fun. They're so great. We're turning each other on to music. We pick one person. We take turns. We pick one album for everyone to listen to, and the following week we come back and give our thoughts and review. It's been pretty interesting. Randall Nelson hit it out of the park for me a couple of weeks ago when he suggested this one. Joe Strummer, Streetcore. Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros. This album was the album he was working on when he died, and released posthumously. And man, it's good. I love it. There's a lot of references to. It's dedicated to. For Captain Beefheart, it says. Maybe just one of the songs. Anyway, it mentions acid tests a lot and stuff like that, and LSD, and I don't know where he was going at the time, but it's lyrically interesting, musically fantastic. There's some great rock tunes. There's something like a gospel-y type song on here called Get Down Moses, which I absolutely love. Great album. He does a cover of Redemption Song, which I understand his wife wanted on the record, because I think he just did it at home on a tape recorder or something. When I first heard it on Spotify, because I didn't have the album yet to review, I didn't like his version of Redemption Song, but listening to it on a big stereo system, it sounds much better, and I've changed my mind. Actually, I kind of like the rendition he does of it. So this is a really good album. One of my Glenn's recommendations. Okay, next, because I bought that on Spotify, by the way, I could not, or Spotify, I bought that on Discogs. I could not find this on Amazon. It's not for sale even. Like it lists it, and there's no prices, nowhere to buy it. So I went on Discogs, and I found a Canadian seller selling it for like $6 or $7. So I put it on order, and then there wasn't enough value in it to ship one CD, so I had to pick something else from his list. And I picked one that I used to have on vinyl, but I haven't had for a while, and it's a really good album for me anyway. The Pogues, Rum, Sodomy, and the Lash. This is a great record, produced by Elvis Costello. It has Pair of Brown Eyes on it, and Dirty Old Town on it. There's two just great Pogues tracks, and really good album. So I got that for like $6 or $7 too. So I think it cost me like, I don't know, $18 I think with shipping to get the 2 CDs. So I'm happy with that. Next, when I told you guys I sold a bunch of SACDs and my Oppo player to fund the purchase of my new CD player, and was very successful. Actually ended up with an extra couple of bucks in the bank. A few of the CDs I had were dedicated SACDs. Most of them are hybrid, meaning they'll play on a regular CD player or Super Audio CD capabilities. I kept a lot of those ones, but the ones that were dedicated SACDs, I can't play anymore, so I sold them. And one I sold, that was a jazz title, one of my favorite jazz albums, Charles Mingus, So I found just a regular Red Book CD of this yesterday for $7 or something, and I picked it up. Man, I love this album. I played it yesterday. It sounded great on the Naim CD player. Oh, man, it's a great record if you've never heard it. Charles Mingus, one of the great jazz albums. Last but not least, you know I'm a banjo player. You know I'm a bluegrasser. The young phenom right now who's turning everyone's heads, even outside of the bluegrass world. He's really popular. Billy Strings, you probably see him on YouTube all the time. There's always Billy Strings concerts and Billy Strings uploads. The man's a phenomenal guitar player, great vocalist, great band. Everything's so cool. I found this on Amazon warehouse sale. It's called Turmoil and Tinfoil. Have not had a chance to listen to it yet. $6. I couldn't resist. It cost me $7 with tax and everything. It was at $7 and something. Billy Strings. If you haven't heard him, check him out. And when I was in Kingston yesterday at Zap Records, this is one of the CDs I found, along with the Mingus one, was another Billy Strings one called Home. And I did listen to this yesterday, and it is frickin' fantastic. Man, I am from a guy who kind of was more than aware of Billy Strings to now being someone who has 2 of his CDs. I am really impressed. This is good stuff. Billy Strings, Home. That is my CDs. So far, just to give you a little preview, I am giving my CD player, it was a good decision. Let me just say that. I'm going to do a review tomorrow. I decided I'm not going to compare the Oppo to the Naim. I don't think it's fair. Oppo has a great name, very popular. It was a great machine. I loved it. I just moved on. So my comparison is, my review is not going to be a comparison. Does it sound better than the Oppo? Does this sound better than the Oppo? It's just going to be based on what I'm hearing out of the Naim CD player. We'll be back tomorrow with that video. And thanks for watching. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll talk soon.